we ended up going to a dive bar.
Well, hold on, you skipped a part here, because afterwards, so this is real. This is
It's illegal.
We're having honest conversations. I don't give a fuck if it's illegal.
What's up, dudes? My name is Leia, and this is Matt.
Hello.
And you're listening to a podcast where you get to listen to our honest conversations on the road as we travel to all 48 continental United States.
And welcome to Getting to Know.
So in this episode, it's a little bit different. We're trying something new. Instead of being inside of the car on the road, we're in front of the car.
Yeah. We're in front of the car in
South Carolina. Greer, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So we're not going somewhere, so we've already made it to our destination.
Well, hold on.
What?
Let's explain further. We were going to, we actually recorded the first 10 minutes of this podcast already while we were in the car on the way here, but then we ran out of battery on the transmitter for the lavalier, and we decided, you know what? Instead of pulling over and getting batteries and just recording in the car like we usually do, let's just wait and try something different and record it while we're there.
Right.
And I honestly think this will be better, one, for the audio quality, because you won't have the loud of the roof bag, and then it's just a little bit more peaceful, a little less stressful.
Right.
It feels a little stressful when we do it. Oh, that was a red ant.
Right. I don't know, there's something that I do like about it being in the car, because I feel like it's very natural.
Mm-hmm.
Versus this, we have to set it up and whatever, which is fine. But right. I think it's kind of cool.
Uncle John's back.
Uncle John is back. Here he is.
Should we move the microphone?
I don't think he parks over there.
Yeah, he does.
So
are your earrings pinned to your shorts?
Yeah, because they're bothering my ears. I normally haven't been sleeping with them, and I slept with them last night, and they're bothering me. So I'm gonna take them out. So where did we leave off?
So, where did we come from?
We came from Atlanta, Georgia. We had a pit stop in Athens.
Right.
And we are currently in Greer, South Carolina.
Yeah. So we'll readdress it, I guess. But this one's different because we're going to be out and about and not in the car.
Yeah. Let us know if you like it better.
Yeah, I'm sure you will like this better, especially if you're just listening.
Because the audio is going to be so much better.
So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're having coffee in the morning with you would not believe the weather actually right now in South Carolina.
It's amazing.
In the middle of summer. You would think we're in California right now.
Honestly, yeah, it does feel like it.
There's a cool, nice breeze. It's probably
we're in the shade.
It's probably in the 70s right now. The temperature. And the humidity is minimal.
But to paint you a picture, if you aren't watching on YouTube, which you can do, we are sitting on 2 metal chairs outside of Matthew's car, drinking coffee in basically the forest. Yeah. It feels like and outside of Uncle John's.
There's some red ants running around and stuff.
Oh my gosh, they're on me. On my, wow, okay.
On your shoe, yeah, just go do this,
Wow, okay. Well, that is not comforting.
That's okay.
All right. So in Atlanta,
You can put your foot on my shoe if you want. Or No, not up there. Fuck.
I can't reach. Oh my God, bug. Okay. Okay,
South Carolina has bugs.
Yes, lots of bugs. So in Atlanta, we were staying with Audrey.
Yeah, so we stayed with Audrey. Don't even know what her last name is. But we explained this in the last episode a little bit, but we stayed with Maddie Tucker, who is a very good friend of ours that we met through the Family Vacation Center at UCSB, which is a family camp that we all worked at together for a few summers. And it's hilarious, her full name is Madeline, and in my phone she is Madeline because when I worked at that camp, I went by Maddie because everyone in my family calls me Maddie, and when I first started working there were 2 Matts, and to solve that issue, I went by Maddie to avoid the confusion for the people that were attending the camp, you know, when they're trying to find their counselor, for example. So when she started working there, then it got more confusing because now there was 2 Matts and a Maddie, and one of the Matts went by Maddie, so now there was 2 Maddies. So yeah, but super grateful that she let us stay in her room.
She was not there. She was
she was in training in San Francisco for a new job that she just got, and so we, you know, it was like a plus and a minus. You know, it was unfortunate she wasn't there to hang out with us and like, show us Atlanta, but we now got our own room, and
which was very nice.
So thank you, Maddie. We love you.
We love you.
And yeah, we also got to hang out with Franklin, which was Audrey's dog. He was very cute. He was maybe a year and a half.
I don't know how old he was.
I think she said 18 months.
He's cute though.
He's
took him for a little jog.
Yeah, we took him on a jog. He went poop. And yeah. And
then we did some work the following day. We were there for 3 days. The first day we did a lot of work, which was good. We cooked inside of their kitchen, which was nice. Went to Trader Joe's.
Set off the smoke detector.
Oh yeah, set off the smoke detector because you're cooking pizza, and I guess it was too hot.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we went out on the town. So we went to breakfast at Atlanta Breakfast Club.
Which was absolutely bonkers good.
Really, really good.
We had the chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
Man, you know, like chicken and waffles, if you've ever been to Roscoe's.
It's good.
It's really good, but, and I say that and I've never even been to Roscoe's, but the chicken and waffles, like
And how can you say that?
Because maybe I have been once.
Okay, no. I have been there multiple times. I personally think that the chicken at ABC way better.
Well, the chicken was so flavorful. It was so flavorful. The
waffle, I like the thickness of ABC, but I like the flavor of the waffle mix at Roscoe's.
Yeah, because it has more vanilla, right?
Yeah, it has like it has a slight vanilla to it. Yeah, I just found another bug bite. Okay.
It's okay, such is life. Cheers.
I just found 2.
I love you.
I love you too, man. Yeah. And then we had a peach cobbler French toast. Delicious.
It was a little bit too sweet for me, honestly. I'm a huge French toast fan, and because I grew up on it. You know, it was like my favorite breakfast my mom would make, and I'm very critical.
But you're
of
plain Jane.
French toast. Yeah, I like it more of a plain Jane vibe versus, you know, some people like it to be super sweet, and
if you like it sweet, man, that's the place to go.
Yeah,
but
it was delicious. Though.
Right, we met our server and.
Wait, we also got the breakfast tacos.
Yeah, the breakfast tacos were underwhelming.
I
wouldn't get those.
But to describe what it was tortillas that they had dipped in French toast batter, and then they, you know, cook it like a French toast, and then they use that for taco with scrambled eggs and sausage.
I mean, it's a good idea.
And it was featured actually. It was featured 4 months ago on the Travel Channel, right?
Yeah. And that I don't get.
So it was that and the French toast that you had though.
Right.
Which I get.
That I get.
And I think the French toast tacos were highlighted though because it's different.
Yeah, it just didn't taste that good.
What I would say they could improve upon with that is maybe a different sausage, cutting it differently, and then making the scrambled eggs in my opinion, the way they made those scrambled eggs is a bit lazy. And they could have put a little bit more TLC into them and made them fluffier and easier to, like, they made it so that it was basically like a pancake of egg,
right,
if you will. And
no, I just didn't like it, yeah.
Versus I would prefer it to be like chunks and stuff to have better bites.
Right, so we had breakfast at Atlanta Breakfast Club, and we met our server, Deontay. And there was a guy also doing like
he was shadowing him.
And so Deontay and Eazy, super nice guys. They had great service, great recommendations. He taught us how to put hot sauce and syrup in the same lovely concoction that you pour all over the chicken and waffles.
Yeah, and that's the secret to life, everyone. Hot sauce mixed with your syrup when you're eating chicken and waffles, because I feel like you want to put hot sauce on the chicken and you want
farted.
Okay.
It smells bad. Don't breathe.
Okay.
ever.
And I feel like you want to put syrup on the waffles, and so when you mix them together, ta-da!
I told you not to breathe.
Dude.
There's something wrong with what I ate last night.
Yeah, you're deadly.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was bad.
What did we eat? No, maybe it was lunch.
Oh, it was lunch. Oh.
In Athens.
Maybe it was lunch. I don't know.
Could be a lot of the beer, too.
Yeah, bad news.
I wish there was a smellinator on this microphone so that you could at home smell how atrocious that fart was.
Yeah, okay, moving on. I feel like we're slow. So.
No, you need to relax. You're being anxious and with just storytelling. You need to sit down, shut the fuck up, and enjoy it.
I feel like that's the title of the podcast.
Sit down, shut the fuck up, and enjoy it.
Yeah. That was funny. Cheers. So after breakfast, so we were like, hey, we really like you guys. Like, are you doing anything later? Let's hang out. Because I feel like that's part of the really fun thing that we've been trying to do when we travel is if we meet someone that we vibe with, we say, hey, want to hang out? And if they do, great. If they don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of contacts in Atlanta, actually, just by like going to restaurants and hanging out and being social. But we ended up hanging out with Eazy, who turned out to be a yoga instructor. And he was like, yeah, you guys, like, come to my yoga class at 7:30, blah, blah, blah. There's like champagne. We're like,
you'll be
okay.
My guests.
Yeah. So we actually go.
Right.
And I had a triple beer before that, and I was like pretty turned.
A triple beer? You mean a triple IPA?
Triple IPA. Sorry. Whatever. It's a beer.
It's just high in alcohol content if you're not familiar with what IPAs are. And
it's having 3 beers.
When you have a double IPA, typically it adds more alcohol content, and then you have a triple IPA, it adds even more alcohol content.
It wasn't an IPA though. It was a Belgian triple.
Oh.
That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah, we didn't really like that beer.
Anyways, I drank it and I was turned.
Yeah, we went to Ponce City Market, which is where we got those beers. So
Ponce de Leon, my last name.
Ponce City Market is very popular.
Reminds me of Anaheim Packing District.
So if you've ever been there in LA or Anaheim, you could kind of imagine what it was like. But if you're gonna go to Atlanta, stop touching your bug bite. If you're gonna go to Atlanta, that's definitely something that you should do while you're there, because there's a really cool rooftop that actually costs $10, so we didn't go on there. And but there's tons of restaurants, shopping, tap rooms, and like wine bar. So there's a ton of stuff to do. You could probably spend the entire day there, honestly, if you were so inclined. But then we also walked along the the Belt Line.
The Belt Line.
Which is just essentially a super long walk path
that connects all the neighborhoods.
All like 22 neighborhoods.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I read.
And there's like a huge park in the middle of it, and you can see the cityscape from almost anywhere along the way. Really, really pretty. We got really lucky too that it was actually like, again, like here, like the weather was incredible. It was like a springtime day. I overheard someone say that.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And it was so nice. So if you're gonna go to the Beltline, walk around, ride bikes if you're inclined. We would have road bikes.
Don't really ride bikes.
Yeah, Leia doesn't ride bikes. She's 22 years old. She knows how to ride a bike.
I know how. It just would be very embarrassing for me.
Yeah, Leia's not a strong bike rider yet.
No one.
But you will one day.
Absolutely. My dad never taught me. I like kind of learned from my friend Grace and her mom in elementary school, and I had a bike for a little bit. I just was never inclined to like do it. I have this irrational fear. Like I don't want to fall. I'm scared to turn. Like I can go straight for a little bit. I just haven't had enough practice.
And I think at this point it's becoming like you either need to dedicate to it or forget about it, because
no, I'm not going to forget about it. I actually just need to practice doing it.
Right, that's not what I meant. I just meant like when you're a kid and you're learning how to do it, you become fearless in a sense, you know?
Right, I'm like pushing it to the side, like I don't got to do this.
Right, and so now you're an adult and you understand how rationally to think, and that it actually is pretty dangerous to be on a bike if you're going pretty fast.
Yeah.
You fall, and so, but as a kid, I feel like you don't really think about that. You just go, and it teaches you to be like fearless behind the bike, if you will. But they say you never forget how to ride a bike. But that's not true if you never learned.
Okay, so we didn't ride bikes.
So we didn't ride bikes. But then, so fast forward back to
oh yeah,
yoga.
So we went to yoga class.
So we got champagne mixed with pineapple juice.
Yeah. And boy, was that what we needed. We needed some freaking yoga zen in our life.
For real, that was
so Eazy was
so
super
delightful.
Cool.
An hour-long class.
He's from Miami. We learned more about him later, but he has a 2-year-old son and 2.5-year-old son. And yeah, has been living in Atlanta, I think, for like 5-ish years. Practices yoga. His like Instagram is completely dedicated to his yoga.
Yeah, his yoga is Yoga Playground. So if you ever want to check out his stuff, it's at Yoga Playground. And he posts a lot of great stuff. I feel like he's super real and authentic, both in real life and on his social platform. And so I fucked with him.
Yeah, and you fell asleep at the end.
I fell asleep at the end of the
I fell asleep pretty hard
because
too.
Because at the end of yoga, they do this thing called Savasana.
Yeah, Savasana.
And it's essentially where it's a guided meditation essentially with your instructor, and everyone just lies on their back with your palms facing to the
Very
sky.
still.
And he just leads you through, his little spiel, which essentially was a message about not listening to other people's opinions to let it dictate your behavior. And I was like, damn, dude, I love this. And then I just fell asleep.
Yeah, same.
Because I was a little bit tossed.
Yeah, me too.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So then after that, we hung out with him and we ended up going to a dive bar.
Well, hold on, you skipped a part here. Because afterwards, so this is real. This is
it's illegal.
We're having honest conversations. I don't give a fuck if it's illegal.
All right.
We have medical cards, man.
I don't.
But we, so after the class, I think right before the class, I had dropped that we focus on 3 industries with our work, which is food, travel, and cannabis. And so he was
I found another bug bite.
So he was like immediately, I think he understood that we consume cannabis. And so he came up to us right after and was like, you guys want to go smoke some weed? And I was like, we don't have any weed, but totally. And he was like, oh, I got you. He's like, just follow me after the class. Or like, give me 10 minutes or whatever and then we'll go. So we followed him to his house and we puffed down on a couple joints and we bonded. Like we hung out for like 2 hours, I feel like.
I know.
Before we got food.
Yeah, we were talking for a long time because then he started talking about like destiny cards. Then we were reading that, and it took a long time.
We're talking about like our experiences with cannabis, and like he was talking about his experiences with cannabis, and
really interesting.
Learned a lot about him and his experiences with it, and then also the fighting. Capoeira, which he does with his. He's got
Brazilian dance fighting.
Right, it's Brazilian dance fighting, but what he does is the Angolan version of capoeira. And so I guess Brazil and Angola, if you were to like look at the world map, they go straight across from each other on the same like lateral or like point of latitude, if you will. And so I guess that's why like the fighting style is in both areas, but it's a slightly different style that he does.
It's like very peaceful.
He said it's more underground and a little bit slower than what typical capoeira looks like. But it's essentially just dancing, right?
Yeah, it's like the whole message behind it is that like it's a flow and it's like everything's about how you react.
Right.
So like you're supposed to like it's a dance with your partner. You're not trying to like fight each other really. It's like you're trying to like catch the other person off guard, and it's how you respond that like makes the movements.
And what Eazy was saying is that it's essentially like life. Like you can apply that to life, and you can tell the way people fight is kind of how they live their life. You know, if you can, like for example, he showed us a video where he was, I don't know if you say dancing or fighting with someone.
Fighting.
So they were fighting, and his opponent did one move where he went to like kick him in the face pretty quickly, and so he just like spins in the same direction as the kick, and then like rolls right out of it. And then he did a similar thing where he dodged like, this roundhouse kick above his head essentially, and then he sweeps the leg, and he sweeps the guy's leg, but the guy rolled out of it very gracefully. And it was just like, it was very interesting and cool to like just to watch it. And it made us have this great conversation where we're like, wow, we should make a documentary about this, because apparently it's really popular in Los Angeles too.
Yeah, I'd be interested to learn more about it for sure.
So then we went to get food at a dive bar that he recommended we go to.
Jack's. Yeah, Jack's. Jack's. J-A-X. It was good. No, regular Jack's.
J-A-C-K.
Apostrophe S, yeah. Yeah, so we went to that dive bar, hung out, and then we left the next morning.
Yeah, and so really lucky that, or not really lucky, it was awesome that we met Eazy.
Very coincidental.
Yeah, he had a 2-hour shift at ABC that morning, and it was his first shift ever.
Yeah, and we just happened to...
And we had like kind of a late breakfast.
Yeah.
So it was like...
It worked out.
It really worked out. And he was showing us these Destiny cards, which I don't know if you've ever done it, if you're listening, but Destiny cards are just essentially based off of what
like
day
cards,
and month
basically.
You're born. Yeah, and they essentially can tell you a lot about yourself and a lot about like the people that are compatible with you.
So we learned that Matthew and I are very compatible. Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Suck it.
Okay. So what to expect in South Carolina?
No, what
did we learn? Whoa, look at that.
Look at that, it was a cardinal. That's a centipede.
Dude, that's epic.
That's so cool.
Just enjoy it.
Oh, okay, no photos?
No photo. No photo, no video.
No photo, no video. Silence.
Oh, silence, that's what it was. We're referencing when we were in the Vatican.
Yeah, and it's like the main part that
the Sistine Chapel.
It's the Sistine Chapel, and
they're
you're
like,
not allowed to photograph
it
things.
is completely illegal to do that.
Yeah, because they have everything is copyrighted, like the world,
like insane.
It's like a world copyright that like
right. You cannot take any photos. If you were to like take
photos and post that somewhere, like you would probably get in trouble.
Yeah, you would definitely get in trouble.
Dude, there was this freaking chick that was taking photos, trying to sneak it, and I literally was staring at her, and I was like, stop.
I know.
I was trying to defend the artwork.
I know. But anyways, so, okay, what did we learn? What did we learn as a couple, as business people, as individuals, as Americans?
As an individual...
Oh, we forgot Athens.
Oh, yeah, and then we went to Athens. So I guess I'll catch everyone up to speed on that. We went to Athens,
which was on the way to South Carolina.
Right, so it's just...
Still in Georgia.
It's a little bit east of Atlanta.
Yes.
About an hour and a half east, so probably like 60, 70 miles east of Atlanta. And I honestly, like, Athens would be more of a place that's a little calmer to live.
It's a college town, so that's where the University of Georgia is.
Right, and we got to see the campus because our buddy Caleb.
We also worked with at the camp.
Right, also worked with at the same family camp as Maddie, and he lives there, not with his girlfriend yet, but almost, and we had the opportunity to hang out with him and see
grab some lunch
a little bit. So we got lunch at a great little restaurant
called The Place.
The Place. It's the place to be.
It was good.
Had beers. I had a beer that has like cannabis notes in it. So
it smelled like it.
It smelled like weed. It was very, very interesting. It was good though. It was like an IPA and it was delicious. But yeah, I don't think the waiter liked us very much. I
don't think he did either, but whatever. We had a great time. Yeah. It was good catching up with Caleb and his girlfriend Ev and Ev's roommate Summer.
Yeah.
They were a cool bunch. It was fun that like we all got to hang out. Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be like...
So as soon as we arrived, Caleb iced us. And so if you're not familiar with what icing is, it's a Smirnoff Ice, which is just like Mike's Hard Lemonade essentially.
Yeah.
And a pretty popular thing to do, if you're not familiar, is to hide ices in places where people are not expecting to find them. And then once they find them, you have to get down on one knee and chug it all at once. And I was not expecting it at all. I completely forgot. We did that a lot at that family camp that we were talking about as staff. And he just like, what's up, buddy? And like, he was being weird and like not hugging me. And so I was like, what are you doing? And then he's just like, I got something for you. And I'm just like, God.
Well, Caleb hugged me first because you went ahead of me for whatever reason. I was grabbing the cameras. And then I was like, hey, dude. And then
I hugged him first.
No, that's what I'm saying. You hugged him first.
Got it.
And then I hugged him second. But yeah, like he was kind of holding back one arm. And then he was like, oh, Leia, I got you something too. And then I was like, God,
he's like,
damn
I got
it.
you a present. And I was like, what? I love presents.
I know, I was so excited. And then I was like, oh my God, are you kidding?
Yeah, so
yeah, we checked that.
Hilarious. So if you ever want to see some of this fun stuff, actually, you really should follow us on Instagram to get these live updates on our stories because we're always posting about it.
It's way funnier.
So yeah, at the end we'll drop our tags about our Instagrams if you're already not familiar, but follow along if you want to see some of this stuff in live action.
So what did we learn?
What did we learn as individuals and as a couple? I would say I learned that we're having honest conversations, and no offense, Audrey was not very exciting, which was our host. Nothing against her. She seems like a lovely person.
She just kept to herself.
She kept to herself, and it was just like compared to every other person we had stayed with, like for the most part, they always wanted to kind of adventure or show us the town a little or whatever. To be fair, she was working and
it was during the week.
I'm not judging her at all. Like she's a beautiful human. But it would have been nice if, like, you know, she wanted to hang out a little bit more and get to know us. Because I feel like I don't even know her last name. I don't know where she's from.
Yeah, we don't know much about her.
I don't know what she's like. I don't know what she likes. I don't know.
But just making the most of it, you know. We didn't.
So that was like that was a good lesson about like you don't always have to, I guess, like become close with your host. You can become close with other people.
Right.
Which is why we
hung out with Eazy. Yeah.
And I learned that. Georgia, the university, or it was Georgia State University, or is it
University of Georgia?
Yeah, they have a big history connected to slavery. I thought that was fascinating. And Caleb was saying they still have a big racism problem that they're not, you know, they kind
of
they don't really address it very much, which I thought was interesting. What did we learn as a couple, / what did you learn as an individual?
I was just thinking about how I find it a little, now that I slept on it, I think it's more fresh in the car. But,
No, totally. It's better right after you've done it, but...
Right, I'm trying to think of what... Well, I mean, I think that this kind of like individual and couple, and we talked about this before, but like, I don't know, I feel like we both kind of had our own separate days where we were just kind of like annoyed. You know, like I had a day where I was just like irritable and not pleasant to be around, and then I felt like you also had a day where you were just not like...
Wasn't in my best A1 mental zone.
And
but that's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. And it's okay to go through those days, and instead of judging the other person for it, like or yourself about it, being understanding and, you know, understanding that that's just kind of, now I feel like we're in a better place because we had those days where we just felt kind of out of it, you know?
That's part of life, is you're gonna have, it's an ebb and flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're always in a roller coaster. You're always gonna have the days where you felt super accomplished and productive and like you had a lot of fun and everything went your way, and you're gonna have a lot of days potentially that, you know, don't feel like they go your way and you don't feel as productive, and, you know, maybe you're not thinking exactly the way you would want to think.
Right.
But it's tough. You know, we're on the road. We're a month in now to this road trip, and
wow, yeah.
Today is day 30.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we're a month in, baby. Cheers to that.
What have we gotten better at?
If you didn't know, we've been drinking coffee in this episode.
What have we gotten better at? And like kind of like a midway or like third of the way point.
I feel like, I was just saying this yesterday, that we've kind of gotten into a good flow. Like it feels normal to just be driving everywhere and meeting random people, and like it, you know, it's like when you finally get used to your new home or something, and you're like, oh, this kind of feels like home. I feel like everywhere we go feels like normal. You know?
Right, and then I was thinking about it too, because we've stayed with a lot of different people
different types of people.
Yeah,
too.
different types of people and different mindsets. And I think this is why we're good at what we do and why we're able to be documentary filmmakers and be photographers and be storytellers, is because we're kind of like chameleons. Like, I feel like we're both very open, non-judgmental people.
Right.
And just kind of what we were talking about with Uncle John yesterday is like, live and let live. Like, we respect other people's space and their thoughts, and we don't think anything less of anyone.
Right.
For how they live their life at all.
Right.
And that's why I feel like people can sense that, you know? So we kind of fit into very different lifestyles pretty seamlessly, I would say. Like, I feel comfortable here. I felt comfortable, you know, like...
Right, meaning like, you know, it doesn't matter of people's lifestyle choice, their political views, their diet, their exercise routine, their work.
Put me in a mansion, put me in a tent.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect example is this, like, staying here with my Uncle John. My Uncle John is also my dad's second oldest brother. He's the youngest of 7. And just to give you a little bit of context, and then he lives in South Carolina. I've been living in the same house in Greer for 38 years, you know, and so the house is old, it's got its character, and it's, you know, it's not giant by any means, but it's, you know, it's like, it is what it is, right? Live and let live. And I think it's a great spot for Uncle John, because it's where he wants to be. But if you were to compare, right, like this versus the house in Hot Springs, Arkansas with Jerry, it's
very
like
different.
Completely opposite, you know? I wouldn't say that, like, and I would say they're actually pretty opposite people even.
Yeah.
Maybe they share a similar political view actually, but I think other than that, like, they're pretty opposite. You know, so like we can hang out with Jerry and get drunk on a boat in the middle of Arkansas, and you know, we can hang out and shoot guns in South Carolina.
Yeah. So I think jumping off of what I was saying before is just learning to accept kind of the different stages of our traveling, and that some days are not so great, or who said that? Uncle Bob said, all days are good, some days are better than others. So I think looking at it like that.
And something that Uncle Bob was saying that we already, I believe, said in a previous podcast episode that Uncle John said last night is that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I was like, damn. That's 2 people that have said that on this road trip.
But all days are good, some days are better than others. I think that's really helpful for me, because I can get kind of in the dome about it. But
But yeah, so what did we learn as a couple?
Same thing.
I guess that was kind
support each other.
Support each other through those maybe those days that are still good but not as great.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you. And then what did we learn as business people? Well, I guess what we did learn as business people is you never know what will turn out to be great for your business. And when I say that, I mean you should try to always say yes to new gigs and put yourself out there for whatever it is. You know, if you constantly put yourself out there, right? So when we were in Nashville, we got hit up by...
We talked about this before, so...
Yeah, we talked about this before, but long story short, Jay Shetty has a producer that Leia went to school with.
And hooked us up.
She hit us up because she knows that we travel a lot and that we have probably some old travel footage, which we did. And so we sold them some of our travel footage from Europe. A lot of it was like selfie videos of Leia, actually.
I know, so funny.
And they put it into a video that within 4 hours had over 1 million views. And then by the time we went to sleep, it had over 2 million views. And
I haven't even checked it now.
And we don't even know how many views it has. I bet it's pretty close to 3 million, if not more.
Oh, I think this is a good lesson in business.
But hold on, so I'm not finished. And so the reason that that's cool though is that this video is all about like traveling and how people can very easily spend their money on like dumb shit like clothes or whatever it is they're gonna buy online, and then they make excuses for why they can't travel places or have experiences with their friends and family. But then they're willing to spend that money on dumb shit versus like they could spend that money on experiences and like, you know, bring so much more like joy and awesomeness into their life. So it was like a message that like you don't need to go buy that random bullshit online. Spend that money on experiences. And it was really cool because I feel like we've been doing that for years now.
They're investments.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
And then they shout us out at the end of the video, our company name and our individual names. And so
nice.
Over 2 million people now have seen our business name and our footage, knowing.
Pretty cool.
And Jay Shetty now knows who we are and
for sure.
that we do what we do.
He knows my face.
And the message I would say about that is, I was talking about this okay, we started this podcast and I've been podcasting a lot more now because vlogging seems ingenuine. But now I'm like, fuck, dude, that was so important that we vlogged.
I know.
Because all of that footage, 2 years later, someone's like, hey, can we buy that?
Well, that's the thing that I feel like as creatives and as business people is that you always have to think about how you're gonna grow and what you wanna try. Like during that stage of my life, I was really curious about YouTube.
Right.
I really wanted to see if that was fit for me. And you know what? I tried it. I liked it for what it was. People liked it, but I didn't think it was for me.
Yeah.
But I learned something from it. I look back on those memories. I think it's great. And now it's even being used 2 years later. You know, I would have never known that. So it's like the work that you do right now, which is just a passion project or that you're curious about, could literally make you money 2 years from now, or can open doors for you later on.
Yeah, the only reason that we got this opportunity was because the producer, Kenna, who went to school with Leia, knew that we did a lot of this traveling
and I did that. I did that because I shared my stuff.
Right.
You know, I think that's what's cool and crazy about social media and about kind of living our life publicly in a way, even though, I don't know, I just do it for myself in a way. Like I'm kind of documenting for myself.
Yeah, I mean, watching these podcasts over, you remember a lot of the things that we probably have forgotten because some of it was like short-term stuff and then you talk about it and you kind of forget about it and you live in the moment and you keep moving through your life. You know, the more days you live, the harder it is to remember all that shit. So
yeah,
it's nice to have this. But what do we learn as Americans? There's a huge racism problem in Georgia. That's what I've learned.
There's not a lot of Asians there.
There's not a lot of Asians anywhere in the South.
It's like black or white and that's it.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting is that...
That's what Caleb was saying too.
Right, no, I've seen that. And I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about, and I never experience anyone looking at me funny or like whatever, but I have noticed it. And I think living in LA and living in a very diverse community makes you kind of forget that people, like it makes you, like everyone's just people, you know, like I don't really look at it like that. But here I could see why racism could be more of an issue because it's either you're this or you're that.
It's just a lot
so
more
you're just you're not exposed to it. I feel like you're not exposed to different cultures, different people that look different than you.
And something that we've talked about in general is that like living in California, we have a lot of people and friends that came from different areas of the country, or their parents came from different areas of the country or from other countries. And so by being in California or in New York, naturally people come there, right, to start a new life or whatever it may be, and it's because it's quote unquote like such a diverse place, right? And so like it makes sense that people would be more open-minded, if you will, in those areas because they had to make a big life decision to move out there.
Right.
And so people that are in the South that or in the Midwest, you know, to my knowledge, they don't travel as much. And the people that you do meet though that are from those areas in California, or even when you're there, like the people that do travel a lot, typically, in my experience, I've seen way more open-minded. The people that don't travel out and stay in their bubble and like stay in their comfort zone, that's when you get problems.
So what to expect in South Carolina is we're shooting guns, we're
Playing golf.
maybe fishing.
Maybe fishing, playing golf, and maybe playing darts.
Yeah, just some good convo with Uncle John.
Yeah. So
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Follow us on Instagram at LivinIsLeia, at Matt Meredith, at Cottonmouth Media if you're into cannabis, at Unreal Stories, which is
UNREEL Stories.
And check out the video on Jay Shetty.
Yeah, so go check out Jay Shetty on Facebook, JAY space SHETTY.
And you might have to do some scrolling because this is a long time ago, but I'm sure the video is titled like, you need to watch this before you waste your money or something.
Yeah.
Look for my face.
It's literally Leia's face.
Yeah.
Is the thumbnail.
So share it, love it.
Love us.
Love us. And we'll see you in the next episode.
And thanks for getting to know us.
Woo! Maybe we should end it like that. Thanks for getting to know us.